So before we begin, we should probably give a disclaimer here for those who might take issue with the videos being covered. Yes, Slumber has went ahead and disowned our videos on Dan, however, 1, this commentary was in production before Slumber disowned them, 2, while she may have disowned them, there are still issues that she might not be aware of. Yes, she might be aware of some of the issues to the point where she doesn't stand by the whole video, but we can still make points from a new perspective or point out something that she wasn't even told about. And 3, this commentary can be done to show others, especially those who want to cover Dan Stein, how not to commentate on him. And I guess as another disclaimer, please do not attack Slumber or any of the other commentators that may appear in this video. We in the Cloud Palace do not condone it. With all that out of the way, enjoy the video, fellow viewers.
Welcome everyone to the second ever card night. Wow, that's kinda sad. Anyways, you should know how this works, so put your bettings on the table.
Why? We're playing Go Fish.
Really? I thought this was Advanced Uno.
What Uno game on the whole goddamn earth makes you bet something?
You've never played Uno with Doodle before, have you?
Oh yeah. In that case, you would put your sanity on the line.
Cam, lost it a long time ago.
Wait, this is Uno night? I thought we all gathered here so I could read your fortunes. You know, like in Persona.
If we were here to read fortunes, Slayer would have already been sacrificed.
No, Key, you aren't supposed to sacrifice the client. If I wanted to kill Slayer, I would just trick him to some role-playing again, because last time we did that, we got a whole angry mob on us.
Wait, was that what happened?
What about the charges for trespassing on private property?
Oh, well, once I burned down the property, the charges went away since there was no property damage that anyone could be mad about anymore. But then I got charged with arson. To be fair though, I got that trait from my boyfriend.
I don't remember any of this, but yeah, what they said.
Well, since we don't know what game we're playing, here was the material I was gonna bet off. You two have fun while I find the Advanced Uno players.
Actually, wait, Key, me and Slayer can't cover it alone. It's a 3-player game.
Wait, really? Shit, you're right.
You do realize we don't actually have to cover it though, right? I mean, I'd rather just scam you with this $100 Persona 5 themed tarot card deck instead of wasting my time with a 3-part commentary.
Actually, the cover of the thing says, anyone who finds this video must cover it, or our Lord and Savior, Saradust, will cancel us on twitter.com/SarahofDust or CDust14, whatever the goddamn motherfucking fuck.
You're kidding me, right? That's gotta be a joke. I doubt Saradust would actually do that.
Actually, you might want to trust Slayer on this one. I've been pretty toxic on Twitter lately. I mean, you were there the last time I tried to get Vega canceled this month, right?
Fine. No, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all of Twitter's user base, myself included. BRB, I'm gonna angrily tweet about the situation. You guys handle the rest of the intro skit. Alright, I'm back from complaining about Saradust on my Twitter. What did I miss?
Nothing.
Though I guess on a serious note, here's the context to the videos at hand. This new commentator by the name of Slumber did 3 commentaries on this guy by the name of Dan Stein. Now we'll go over the context behind the individual videos when we get to them, so for now, I'll just address the degrees of the first video. GhostEXE, now known as Holy Majesty, made a video defending Akai Dahlia from a situation that happened way back. Dan covered that, blah blah blah, now Slumber covered that, and I want to go back to my everlasting Slumber.
Hey everybody, it's me, Slumber, and today we're going to be discussing the idiotic, ever so idiotic, Dan Stein.
That's nice and all, but before we get into that, what is this thing that people call an OC?
I mean, isn't it obvious? It's Ugandan Knuckles as an adult. You do not know the Dex evasion.
Well, now I know why the Ugandan Knuckles massacre happened.
Holy fuck, that's offensive to me as someone who regularly shoves birds into my mouth.
I apologize for interjecting so quickly into the video, but this intro is very evident as you clearly rushed this fucking video. That's why it's a fuckfest.
Or it could just be that Dan likes minimalist intros. Doesn't inherently mean that the video is rushed, you know. That kind of speaks for itself. I mean, is the intro good? But that doesn't mean the video is inherently gonna suck because Dan didn't put too much effort into the intro. It could be seen as an omen, but I wouldn't call it a guarantee.
And to address the thing that you said in the beginning, has anyone gone to someone's case for having problems this early into a video? Like, sure, you can make bad points early in the video or jump to conclusions earlier than necessary, but I don't think anyone would mind if he had problems this early as long as he had good points here. Now, as we're pointing out, No, but it wouldn't be the concept, it would be execution of said concept.
Also, if I may interject, isn't it a bit early to say Dan's video is a shit show when said show hasn't even started yet? Like, what is this, Pokemon fans, when Sword and Shield announced they won't be bringing in the national decks?
Hashtag fuck together with Pokemon. But not really though, I don't think Pokemon can consent.
Tell that to the Pokephiliacs.
Okay, usually in situations like this, I'd like to call this hot, but excuse me, what the fuck?
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Ghost EXE. But we're not going to be talking about his video about me. We're going to talk about his defense on Akai Dahlia.
How does his defense on Akai Dahlia have anything to do with you? Sure, you can critique it, but why not critique the video he made on you? That would make much more sense.
Well, it could be for several reasons, Slumber. Like Dan finding more issues with Ghost EXE's video defending Akai Dahlia than his response towards him. He could have agreed to that response video. He could have not agreed to that response video and plans to cover it after hitting this video. He could have had issues with the video but chose not to respond to it. That's another possibility. Hell, this video could have been in production before Ghost EXE made that response video to him and only brought it up during the recording phase. Now, we aren't saying that any of these are true. We're just saying there could have been reasons for why Dan is covering this video and not the response.
And like, it's not like you absolutely have to cover videos made on you. You're not really obligated to respond to videos done on you. Like, for example, I was covered by the likes of Cyano and A363MTR, but I never ended up covering them, either because I wasn't confident in my issues or I found them to be fine respectively.
And yet you still covered my video on you.
And my video is fucking trash. What's your point?
Yeah, this goes to show that I may be right about Ghost EXE and how he's some weird sexual deviant.
Nice job seeing the fucking obvious that he's probably a sexual deviant. Too bad for you that everybody is a sexual deviant.
I really don't buy this as a fair point. I mean, if you just wanted to sink this point right away, I'd point out how asexual people exist and defeat your point immediately. But really, at the end of the day, I really don't buy the idea that everyone has some sort of intense sexual arousal to atypical objects, situations, fantasies, behaviors, or individuals. Some people are really just vanilla and don't see or understand the appeal of thinking about what would happen if you lost a bet with Yumiko Jabami that resulted in her stepping all over you and then proceeding to break down the large amount of yen you'd have to owe her.
All you beg for forgiveness, but still have a small burning desire to beg for more and keep doing mean things to you.
Really don't see why people would choose vanilla, but to be fair, people still do it.
Do you need someone to talk to about this? Cause you need some help.
I know, but I don't care. But I should also be the one to clarify that a sexual deviant is also sometimes a person who has trouble controlling their sexual impulses, i.e. not a whole lot of people, because most hormonal people can at least control their urges. I really don't understand what you were trying to go for at this point, especially when we are given no clue what Ghosty EXE is like so far.
Might be right, back then, it was all based on assumptions. But now, it's based on, well, assumptions. But you know what I mean, It's different,
Haha, I made a trigger joke. Isn't that funny and not problematic considering the word is used for something serious as PTSD triggers? Which clearly wasn't taken into consideration when making this joke. That's worth a chuckle at least, right? Right?
You know what, Key? You got a knuckles, that's my point.
Slayer, just a reminder, I'll probably send you to Killin after we're done with this video.
How in the ever-loving fuck can you send me to somewhere that doesn't exist anymore?
Simple, you just need to learn how to not simp towards evil bitches.
Damn, I really wish you weren't spitting facts right now.
Laugh, damn it!
No.
And besides, you can't hate on me, I'm self-aware. Ooh, look at me, I'm so funny. Wow.
For God's sakes, Dean Steinite broke the universe better than this, and that was unintentional.
English translation, I honestly don't see why this point is making you so mad. It just seems like you randomly broke down. I get that computer programs have a bad habit of going bling.exe and stop working at random, but I mean, this just feels like a joke with no punchline or build-up. Kind of leaves the joke empty, you know? Like jokes about Keyblade being horny, or jokes about Slayer being horny.
Or Phil without the rings, Snoop without the weed, IG without the me- Oh fuck, I just stopped this and making rap song references. Somebody shoot me.
Yeah, trying to fix the universe after Rin broke it.
Why are we ignoring the fact that everyone here except me is horny on main as our gimmick?
Says the person who hasn't 100% completed Super Mario 64.
But yeah, this is going to be my video on Ghost EXE, so let's begin.
And decided to end it off on a horrible note. She had a character that looked very revealing, and she drew very lewd and not safe for work art of that character in Sonic the Hedgehog.
keep the fact that Akai Dahlia drew Rule 34 of Sonic and her own character both fucking in mind. Because this is probably gonna bite him in the ass later on in the video.
Yes, that's in mind. It's also in mind that you kept repeating Rule 34 over and over again.
What?
Oh, see, that happened in a filler episode, which means it wasn't canon, which means this never fucking happened.
Like, literally, when did Dan repeat Rule 34 over and over up to this point? None of your clips showed that, and you were like it was happening up to this point when fucking no? It's like Dr. Dre's Detox, never fucking happened.
I mean, like, that's the gist of, like, the drama, summed up in a nutshell. Honestly, though, if you look at all of this drama, Akai Dahlia is just an artist who had an original Sonic character that she shipped with Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Which just so happens to be a self-insert of an adult female Homo sapien. And, keep this in mind for later. You're gonna be hearing that a lot, because there's a lot of this that makes him seem very, very bad.
I'll keep the constant repetition that you display in your commentary in mind, as well as the fact that why can't you just let her do what she wants? Besides, self-inserts wouldn't exist without humans anyway. Get a life.
This doesn't debunk Dan's point. Let's start with the whole, why can't you let her just do what she wants? Because he finds it to be a problem? I don't know. Self-inserts wouldn't exist without humans anyway. Great, this doesn't do anything. Dan still wants to keep in mind that this is a self-insert of a human. Saying self-inserts wouldn't exist without humans doesn't do anything.
Alright, I'm just gonna put Dan being repetitive on things that probably happened. I mean, sure, I guess in hindsight, this and the last point both have Dan going, keep this in mind, but I mean, you don't really clarify this for whatever reason.
I think one of the major criticisms that really irked me in the wrong way was Akai should change her character's colors because they look too similar to
I
Amy's.
think you might be a bit oversimplifying things. Mainly for the fact being that, well, you see, the argument isn't that her colors are too similar. The argument is that she's practically the same character.
Honey, is your brain screwed into your head properly? Do you have brain damage?
So you interjected just to throw an ad hominem attack.
I really gotta say, this point right here helped me find Jesus. That's right, this point the Slimmer just made me go to a church, grab a Bible,
Punch people in the face.
and allowed me to find the light.
What makes this even worse is the fact that there was a point you could have made here. That being how Dan is saying that the people complaining about Akai Dahlia's Sonic OC are focusing on a different aspect from Ghost DXE, which raises a problem considering he's not providing any proof on why that's the case, thus making his point incredibly shaky. Granted, Ghost DXE didn't do it either, but it's not okay to be doing the exact same thing the other person is doing. Now, was saying that this kid has brain damage a good idea now?
I mean, think about it. Okay, just imagine this. A crazy psycho lady who's madly in love with Sonic the Hedgehog.
XXX Tentacion?
First thing you think of, Amy Rose.
God damn it.
Ah yes, my left ear enjoyed that.
My right ear feels a little lonely now, though.
My ears wanna die!
But if I can make a quick point in, I do think that this joke doesn't really work. Your joke would only really work if Dan was asking something along the lines of, what does this remind you of, or what other person fits these set of traits? Basically, what Dan was saying didn't really coordinate with what you were trying to do with the joke here.
Please do not try to clap back with Akai shipped her character with Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's a child.
Alright, let me just tell you guys a story. Now, there's this guy on the internet who's named Paul and Amy. He's a guy who had a crush on the fictional character Amy Rose. Amy Rose is a 12-year-old. This guy is like a full-grown adult, right? This guy later on actually started sexually abusing real children. So, yeah. Now,
Well, Dan, that was dragged out and actually makes me kind of afraid.
Wait, Dan was dragging his point on? When? Where did he drag it out? Was it with his so word? In that case, that's kind of a stretch to call dragging out, considering it's only a few seconds. What, is there some sort of limit on how long he could say a word? Well, in that case, that's dumb.
Now, some of you might say, but Sonic 93 is sexually attracted to Silver. No. She's romantically attracted to Silver, you know? There is literally zero evidence that she is sexually attracted to Silver.
Okay, so having an orgasm over clips of him in Sonic 06, bullying people off of the internet when they didn't agree with her opinion, and choosing to call him sexy and hot wasn't enough for you? Damn, Daniel.
And no evidence is shown. Great. Now that's not to say that none of this happened, but given how you don't show any sort of evidence on screen, nor do you link anything in the description, this point doesn't have anything to back it up, which is bad considering that new viewers might not be familiar with the Sonic 93 situation and will question the validity of this point. Again, not saying you're wrong, but showing proof is imperative to your point. And if you want to say that Sonic 93's original channel was deleted and that's why you couldn't provide the evidence, that's not an excuse. It's a reason, but that still doesn't change how you have no proof of this happening. If you don't have the evidence, then don't make the point, because if you can't show it, then your audience has no reason to believe you.
However, with Akai Dahlia, yeah, it's undeniable she's sexually attracted to Sonic. And as we all know, Sonic is 15, and, you know, the Paul and Amy situation, the past is the best indicator of the future.
Actually, no, the past doesn't inherently indicate the future, as just because one instance of shipping went horribly wrong, that doesn't mean every other ship is gonna end up like that, since not everyone who ships themselves with a Sonic character ends up abusing actual children. People are different, Dan, and the outcome can depend on the person.
Holy fuck, that's offensive to me as someone who regularly shoves birds into my mouth.
There are several different continuities for Sonic the Hedgehog, and there are several different ages for Sonic the Hedgehog.
And all of them that are in the mainline and Sega-approved franchise, whatever, like whatever's officially approved by Sega. All of those, yeah, under the age of 18. Like, I dare you to find one version of Sonic that isn't underaged, you know? Because there always will be, okay? So, you know, you gotta find at least one that's like 18 years or older. And if you can't find any, then I told you so.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but wasn't there a portion of one of the comics that had Sonic as king and Sally as queen? Pretty sure he was of age.
Hi, former Archie Sonic fan here. I can confirm that this event did happen in the Sonic Universe 4-part series 10 years later, except two problems. One, Sonic was married to Sally with children, so shipping yourself with that Sonic is dead on arrival since Sally wasn't mentioned in any of Akai's art. And secondly, this series is not Sega official, which when you take in mind that Dan is wanting a Sega official Sonic that's 18 or over, this series and its iteration of Sonic isn't gonna cut it for him. Plus, in Ghost DXC's video, he shows ship art of Akai and Boom Sonic, who is stated to be around 15 years old, so yeah, this hypothetical really doesn't work.
By the way, I know this is gonna sound petty, but I kind of wish you clarified that Sonic was overage when he became king, because, I mean, you don't have to be over 18 to be proclaimed as a king. Like, for an example, King Alfonso XIII was considered king literally upon birth. Similar situations happened with King John I of France, Mary Queen of Scots, and Ivan VI, all ascending to their king-queen level before their first birthday. I mean, sure, I'm confident none of them would start ruling way later, but if you're gonna argue that against me, then you're kind of missing the point, as this isn't about when they started ruling, just that you don't have to be over 18 to become a king. You don't clarify that Sonic was like 47 when he was king, so it left me kind of confused and wondering if this point was even valid. But seriously, Sonic is 47 as king? Sonic the Boomer confirmed?
Remember, kids, if you encounter a boomer, you get out of there!
Cause that's no good.
Are we gonna go by the Archie Comics age? If so, which comic? Because there's a huge plethora of different versions of Sonic within the Archie franchise. Are we gonna go by the video game franchise for Sonic the Hedgehog? Because there are several different ages for Sonic that are mentioned in the guidebooks, and some of them don't even have his age listed, so it's unknown. Are we gonna go by the mascot's age for Sonic the Hedgehog? Because according to mainstream society, Sonic is 29 years old.
Yeah, but that's mainstream society, not Sega.
Isn't Sega part of mainstream society, though?
But Sega owns Persona 5, they can't be a part of mainstream society.
Wake up, get out there. Raise your voice against liars. Feed your anger like fire. Why does nobody want change? Oh, by the way, you should have clarified what you meant about Sega being a part of mainstream society, because Sega does range Sonic at these ages, but then again, that's in the context of how long it's been since the inception of the character, not his actual age.
The idea for Sonic the Hedgehog was conceived and created in the late 80s. Final fact, Akai Dahlia draws Sonic in a way where he is clearly aged up. This is not a baby. This is a baby.
I mean, it is still depicting a character that is usually seen as a minor in sexual situations, so, FBI, open up!
1. Please take time to insert proper memes into your fucking videos, you stupid cunt bitch. Second of all, the keyword is usually, because he is clearly aged up, and in some forms of modern media, he is also aged up. So shut the fuck up. Your bias is making you blind to what is actually there, you stupid fuck.
Dan puts in a meme in properly.
Slumber. So you have chosen death.
Did we put this meme in properly?
Also, if I can hit Dan's point, this completely dodges what Ghost said. You say that it's still a character that's usually depicted as a minor, but it's not depicted as a minor in Akai's drawings, according to Ghost at least. This is the thing that Ghost is arguing against, so just repeating the criticism with no elaboration isn't going to convince him of anything. Is it a little strange? I don't know, it's not my place to be arguing that, but still, that doesn't change the fact that you're dodging his point. Now, if I can hit Slumber here...
She out of nowhere decided to be a passive-aggressive dick to Dan for as little of a reason as him not doing a meme properly.
Not even passive-aggressive, just aggressive. Look, I don't know if you have beef with him or something like that, but big eyes.
What is this, the behind the meme hate base? But anyways, I can kind of see the first part of the point, but the second part, I don't even know what you're going for. So some forms of media portray Sonic as aged up. That wouldn't inherently mean that Akai's design is aged up. Again, the first part of your point had something going on, the other point, not so much.
If my friend Shyster Rambles were here, she would shout, "You are baby." Okay, so Akai is guilty of shipping herself with Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, but guess what? That's not a bad thing.
Run for your lives, you little motherfuckers. There's a pedophile on YouTube.
Okay, we're skipping. I'm starting to get tired of listening to Dan's shitty points in his voice. Please let this end.
So you played out one of his points to say you're gonna skip it, but why though?
Cause skip cards are for normies, Slayer.
Fuck skip cards. Me and my $2,200 Persona 5 themed tarot cards hate skip cards.
Like, if you don't have anything to say about the part, skip the fucking point rather than playing it only to say, "Hey guys, I'm Skippy all the timey." Though while I'm here, Dan, my man, what the fuck? Are you really going to claim he's a pedo just because he's defending someone? Fucking no. Especially since the only thing that you go off of is that he said Akai shipping herself with Sonic wasn't a bad thing, which just because I might be defending a problematic person, at least in your eyes, that wouldn't mean that Ghost himself is a pedophile. And if you try defending this by saying you were just joking, one, jokes can have points behind them, and two, you straight up implied it in the title, so if you plan on using this defense, it ain't gonna work, you fucking swordfish.
Why a swordfish?
Suffer here, ask questions later.
Alright, so let's go a little bit back and talk about the fact that Akai shipped herself with both Sonic and Shadow. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having your character in a polyamorous relationship with other fictional characters. I just really feel like this point was blown way out of proportion. Granted, I do see a polyamorous relationship as a very taboo subject, but one thing that I want to state is that this does not make Akai a slut. Okay, so
No, people are trying to say character is a slut, not actual Akai. I get how this could be confusing to some people, because, well, both the real-life Akai and the fictional Akai are both named Akai.
I've actually come up with a solution to this problem, and it's simple. Simply call the artist Jane and the character Kai. That makes everything easier.
So it could be a bit confusing to some people, but, you know, like, at the very least, maybe you should at least think about what people are saying and maybe realize maybe they're not talking about the real Akai.
I'm pretty sure that he could differentiate from when people were talking about the artist Akai and the character Akai.
Alright, we played this part out so we can make a point towards both Dan and Slumber. To Dan, not only do you not show proof of people referring to her character and not herself, but you also admit that the complaints were vague given how they both have the name Akai, which can imply both possibilities. It would help if you showed evidence that the people making these claims clarify what they meant by Akai. And as for you, Slumber, you also don't show evidence, but didn't you get onto Dan earlier for making assumptions with the whole trigger joke? Cause yeah, that's what you're doing right now. How do you know that people can differentiate the two? Do you have psychic powers or some shit that we don't know of? Cause if you don't, then congrats, there's no reason to believe anybody.
And that in all honesty, if you just take a step back and pay attention to the things that these people were complaining about, you'll see that all of the Akai Dahlia drama was just, it was stupid and unnecessary.
Okay, so, you know how earlier in the video I said that maybe he might be right about how the complaints about Akai Dahlia being overly sexualized can be conceived as ridiculous?
When in the history of flying fucks did you ever say that? You never gave him any credit for any good points he made, you never pointed out any positives with the video, you just said he was wrong, he was stupid, you essentially insulted him, like, literally 5 minutes earlier. And this entire video is an insult to everybody watching, so shut the fuck up.
I feel like now might be a good time to address this, but throughout these 3 videos, Slumber is needlessly aggressive towards Dan, which, if I could take something she said earlier...
Your bias is making you blind to what is actually there.
This strong negative bias gets in the way of the argument she presents, since even when her point has some merit to it, the way she goes about presenting it is in such a destructive manner that it makes watching these videos a pain to sit through, or in my case, an unintentional comedy.
Like, I have a good feeling that you likely have a problematic history with Dan, and while I understand that, the way you throw around that distaste for him ends up kind of resulting in points falling on their asses. I was in a similar situation back in early 2019 with Database Productions. I promise I'm only bringing this up for the sake of an argument, but my point is, I was in a situation once where I was in a major, heated, let's say, feud with this person named Database Productions, and I made a script on one of his videos that I had a bit of an issue with, and I did inject quite a bit of spite in it, but ignoring how I tried my best to focus on my points instead of throwing the rage of a 16-year-old at him, I also reserved much of my spite for specific moments where it at least made sense for me to be frustrated with them. It feels like you're getting mad at literally every little thing, and somebody who wouldn't know you to have something going on, it comes out as extremely uncomfortable.
Well, I think I might have had a revelation. So as you guys may know, this video took days to make.
Bitch, I could have made this video in like 5 minutes. What the fuck do you mean?
And I could close off this video in like 2 seconds to do something better with my time.
Like finding out whether or not robots have dicks!
I mean, they do. Just ask Mr. A.
He's a furry, not a robot.
Oh no, you don't know about it, do you?
Know about what?
You know what? I probably shouldn't tell you. It might corrupt your mind.
Cop out. But back to Slumber, I don't see how that's Dan's problem. Really, you just say, I could do it faster. I mean, wasn't your first interjection in this video how you're absolutely confident this video was rushed and that's a bad thing? You really should, don't you know, Slumber?
Well, exactly 2 days, but you know what I mean. That gave me a lot of time to think about something.
Damn, you think? I didn't even know you had a brain. I didn't think you would even use it if you had one.
Slumber, can you not challenge?
Hey, since it's game night, how about a rousing game of the floor is not making ad hominems towards Dan Stein?
By the way, guys, do you still want your fortunes told? This deck was $100. I really don't want to waste that, you know.
Get a sexy assistant, then we'll talk. That's how it's usually done in Persona 3 and 4. You don't count!
And that thing that I was thinking about is, maybe people may be right about complaining about Akai being an overly sexualized character, but it's not for the reason you think. Okay, let me explain this. Akai's entire character is just sex. That's it. Akai Dahlia, in my opinion, is one of the most one-dimensional characters there is. She's just nothing but sex, and sex, and sex. It's nothing but sex!
So, she's an Amy Rose clone, but her only character trait is sex. Can we please pick one and not fluctuate to the one that benefits us most at the time? Please and thank you.
A character can be both a clone of another while having only one character trait. The two things aren't mutually exclusive, so why are you making a big deal out of this when it really isn't?
Hey, Lunatic, you doing alright up there?
Jeez, are you guys gonna join me up here or what? No? Fine, I'll stay winning then.
It's her only character, just sex. It's... Yeah, now I think I kind of understand all the complaints. And, yeah, Ghost, I think you might be 100% wrong on this. So, yeah. Thank God I had the time to think about this stuff, because, you know...
I'm still shocked at the fact that you have the brain capacity to think, you fucking goldfish.
So, wait, Slayer, is he a swordfish or a goldfish?
You know what? I don't even fucking know. This commentary just left me wondering, what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Why does Aaron Tempest always have such a threatening aura about him? It's like, it never ends.
So while Slayer is going through his existential crisis, here's the context you need to know for video 2. So Dan made a video calling out Michael for a comment he made, and then Slumber responded to that. There, now you know what's going on, and it didn't take a whole minute of someone's insane ramblings to explain it.
Reason number 3. Communism is based on...
You know, I'm not a big fan of the word simp.
Says the simp for Sonic 93.
Points for originality, I guess?
Can we even give her points for calling Dan a simp for Sonic 93?
10 points to Slumber. At least she's no longer calling everyone sexual deviants, I guess.
However, in this case, I think it's appropriate to use that word. Okay, now, before I start this video, I just want to say this. Michael, if you're watching this, if you start screaming and yelling at Milo and Lee, then, oh boy, the fight is gonna go back on.
Damn, didn't know you were enough of a pussy to stop a fight in the first place. God damn.
So 5 or 7 points for that insult.
Sympho Gear GX.
5 points it is then.
I guess we can't just keep making point jokes throughout this section, so I guess I'll go ahead and make the point here. Why would Dan be a pussy for stopping a fight? Especially since he literally just said that if Michael starts yelling at Milo and Lee, whoever those people are, then he's gonna start a fight with Michael, meaning he's going to start another fight. So even as a simple pause shot, this doesn't really make any sense. Also, Lunatic, get the fuck off the top of the screen.
Go fuck yourself, Slayer.
I would if I could.
It doesn't mean the fetus feels free to utter the C word.
Please, I fucking dare you to do that. Because the moment you start screaming at Milo and Lee, the game is on. We're gonna start grabbing the guns, going on like, Michael, you go first, bada boom, bada bang.
I think if you were run by literally anybody's morals, you would be an awful person.
Okay, can I just— shit!
Ow, 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 ow! I think I deserve that one for running that joke into the ground. Okay, though. Can I just point out how we're almost 3 minutes into this 4-minute video, and honest to God, there has been only one actual attempt at a point here. Otherwise, a lot of the video is just you saying, Dan Stein, you suck, with no real meat and bones to what you're saying. Personally, that makes this video extremely— what's a good comparison? Sympho Gear GX-like. So, really fucking boring.
So Hibiki is a disappointment who gets her ass kicked 24-4.
Why 24-4?
Cause the weekends is when Hibiki does really well in the bedroom with Miku.
I don't speak Symphogear. I personally just call this video Broken Side. Get it? Cause this video is bad.
So please, if you want to die, then let's fucking go.
You stupid ass fucking cunt. I try to remember that you're probably just a misguided teen, but it's really hard to remember that when I myself am a teenager. That and you threatened to kill somebody / wanted somebody to kill themselves, so I mean...
If a teenager is misguided, I think pointing out the flaws of their behavior and pointing them in the right direction would be a much better option instead of being a dick to them. Just saying. You know, I'm curious, what are the rest of her points like in this video?
Hold up, let me use my convenient foresight to see. Wait, it's all ad hominem attacks?
Always has been, Lunatic.
I mean, there's a couple attempts at points, but a good chunk is just throwing insults at Dan.
So, does that mean I can shoot them more?
Not if you want your name in the papers.
You're right, with the current times, I would get cancelled for this. Lunatic, explain the context for the final video while I dress myself up as Luxter.
Don't worry, I've got you.
The time has come to where it's necessary to continue the drama.
Never mind, no I don't. Slayer, what's happening?
So from what I could gather, Dan made a video about a comment he got from this guy called Spyro the Bug Boy, and how he apparently was starting shit. Some motherfucker who I can't find the name of because Slumber didn't link the video did a video on Dan. His name isn't really all that important anyway. He's the nameless commentator, I guess. Then Dan made a response to that, in which Slumber is now covering that, so buckle in bitches. This ride is gonna be painful like a cock and ball torture.
I'm pretty sure that's also illegal.
I've avoided the FBI up to this point. I'm basically invincible.
You say that now, but the FBI always gets their target in the end.
Hey, new guy here. Slumber, what's going on? Like, at least with the previous video, you at least gave the slightest bit of context. Here, it's just hoppity-hippity, we're in the fucking video. This will only cause confusion to those who aren't familiar with the whole Dan debacle. And I get that maybe those who are close to you will get the context, but for outsiders such as myself, this isn't gonna make a whole lot of sense.
What this information is that, you know, Spyro doesn't want me to bring any friends to his next stream.
It's almost like the reason this is because it's a debate between you and him and the people that may be, not just a debate between you and your friends.
I agree with that.
Wait, Kaede, the heck is she doing here?
Yeah, here's something about this video that is constantly a problem. Throughout the whole video, Slumber was trying to go for a Danganronpa theme kind of thing. The problem with this is that it happens every fucking 5 seconds after Dan or unnamed person speaks. Like, I get that you're trying to go for a theme, but the overuse of it gets really old.
Alongside some context, you could have at least given the audience a better idea of what was going on instead of making a movie and then halfway through turning it into a musical.
By the way, this commentary is now a psychological thriller.
But where are we supposed to get the corpses?
I know where to get the corpses.
Or the more likely option being that they're basically trying to publicly humiliate me on their stream.
No, that's wrong.
If anybody was being publicly humiliated, sure it would be you, but that would be your own doing. So actually, please Shut up. Nobody freaking asked.
Not particularly, as if Dan was being publicly humiliated, then it wouldn't inherently be his fault for being in this situation, since Dan was the one who declined the offer for a debate, which then led to the people who wanted to debate him trying to strong-arm him into one, despite Dan's reason for declining being a pretty reasonable one, that being feeling like the whole thing is going to be them publicly humiliating him live. So in this instance, Dan wouldn't be at fault if he did do the debate only to get ridiculed by the debaters. Also, saying it's his fault for him getting publicly humiliated borderline feels like victim blaming territory, which is something your point shouldn't be reminding me of.
Which is, you know, pretty alarming, to say the least.
May I ask you, like, why is that really alarming to you? It's literally just numbing the debate, dude. Unless you're scared of the debate, that shouldn't be an issue.
I mean, there is a pretty high likelihood that it's not even a debate at all, and it's just simply him trying to provoke me.
No, that's wrong.
Dan, I'm pretty sure it would be the other way around, but go off, I guess.
Man, I sure love anime.
I sure do too, but this current arc isn't that good.
Yeah, I gotta agree. The major points just kind of feel thrown in, and still the writing comes off as sloppy and random.
Yeah, the arc about this interjection is so bad, it's like...
No, I wasn't referring to the interjection. I was referring to the 4th Great Shinobi World War arc from Naruto. That was trash. Oh, but I guess since you started the conversation about the interjection, this is a blah moment. Like, I don't see the point of this point, given the whole thing is just, well, I think you'd do that. It comes off less like a point, more like a random thrown-in punch that does nothing. Nice job breaking it, hero.
He broke my Xbox, my furniture, and my marriage!
Oh, Slayer, your marriage was broken from the very beginning.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistake.
And then he tells me that Spyro said that if I don't join, then I'd be the ultimate pussy.
Why honestly would you care? Because if Spyro thinks you're a pussy anyway, would that really change anything else?
I agree with that.
Gee, I sure do care that you agree with this video, given that it adds a whole lot to this video.
If Kaede keeps showing up to say pointless shit, I'm getting the giant piano.
Great, Kaede. You agree with the statement. Now tell us why we should give a fuck about it.
Close enough.
Well, it's because of the possibility of him publicly saying that, thus leading to the rest of the internet blindly agreeing with him.
No, that's wrong.
Dan, bro, you've proven time and time again that you're a big pussy bitch.
Okay, wow, this is a perfect analogy for the ongoing quarantine, because just like a lot of people, you're going nowhere. Maybe if you put on a mask, though, we'll be talking. You'll be 99.9 steps ahead of everyone else in this country.
Well, I feel like that he's probably going to provoke me until I start screaming at him.
You could just not.
That's exactly what I'm doing, yet you're still complaining about me. Because, judging by...
Wow, Slumber. This was a great point that you didn't even argue. We definitely needed this fluff that then that shit, GG, would reverse it again.
The other streams that he made, like, basically, like, in those streams, what was going on was that he's basically just watching my videos and then saying, you know, that, oh, this video sucks.
I agree with that.
Dan, your videos suck ass. Shut the fuck up, please.
The attacks were bad enough in video 2. Why do you feel the need to continue making them in video 3? It's not debunking anything, so stop it.
And if someone wants to argue that this was just a joke of what Dan said before, given how you've been noticeably like this throughout your past 2 videos on Dan, I have failed to see this as just being a joke.
I think for the sake of not repeating ourselves until the heat death of the universe, we're gonna skip the majority of the nothing points. However, I will point out that there are nothing points at 504 to 510.
How much you want to bet the reason is because of the fact that he has a small fucking
514 to 517.
I call bullshit on that.
554 to 559.
Dan, you're very clearly scared. So, shut up.
630 to 635.
What the fuck is your issue?
1051 to 1056.
And you're keeps doing the opposite, getting smaller and smaller each passing day.
1104 to 1108.
Bitch, nobody cares about you enough to try to kill you.
1207 to 1209.
That matters. Why?
1232 to 1237.
In the context that you try to ruin your own reputation, you're correct. The title wasn't clickbait.
And 1331 to 1335.
You are a shitty move on behalf of your parents.
No! Fucking stop it, please!
Wow. Let's just call that a yikes moment and leave it at that.
Slumber, I don't want to be that NB, but seriously, your audience kind of gets the point. You don't like Dan. I don't really see much merit to your video if the large majority of it is just, hey, fuck you, Dan, you smell like paper.
But Lunatic, he's a goldfish, though.
Wait, I thought he was a swordfish.
He's a commentator like us. Of course he'd have inconsistent branding. In hindsight, since this is game night, let's start a drinking game. Anytime we show Slumber making a nothing point, take a shot. Make sure to have the medics on speed dial, though. I kinda don't want to be responsible for any deaths.
Like, that's basically what he was doing. Like,
Not like this entire dance community is just ironic, you suck, I have a bigger dick, kind of shit, man. Like, honestly, this entire community sucks.
like, if that's the case, then why are you so adamant to defend this guy? Why are you on his side if you know that he sucks?
I'll cut your words!
Bit difficult since the decisions that Sonic 93 has been making have been gotten worse and worse.
You know, I just noticed another issue with this video. What is up with your avatar choice, since throughout this whole video, you constantly keep changing which character from Danganronpa you are. Like, 1 minute you're Kyoko, then Kaede, then Scarlet Otaku. Seriously, pick a character and stick with it throughout the entire video, or at least let us know beforehand, jeez. But disregarding your avatar shuffle, you play a clip from what I can assume to be an earlier video released by Dan, but with how it just comes out of nowhere with no explanation for why it's here, it makes the audience more confused than anything.
She's a commentator like us, of course she'd have inconsistent branding. But actually, by the way, I know somebody will bring up how some commentators have a habit of switching their avatars mid-video. Like, for example, Doodle Tones did that in a video on the Dark Commentator, aka Fluffle Yu-Gi-Oh!, aka Midnight Vampire, aka Kainu, aka that guy from Naruto who had too many goddamn names. And I did that in my video that covered Nintendo Switch Gamer Guy, Burning Bolt, and Umbrus. The common thing with those videos, though, were that they were done with a clear reason in mind. Doodle's video did that as a joke, explained as her commentary avatar machine breaking.
Let me go turn on your avatar machine for you. Get my costume set up and let's have fun. No, wait, I haven't fixed that yet. What did you do? We gonna mention your avatar changes? Are we gonna bring up your rapidly changing costumes? Good point.
In my video, I explained I was simply swapping avatars each video.
You know, I've seen a lot of Joni's old avatars.
Now sure, in the case of that last video, I didn't need to, but it's not like I didn't give everyone a fair warning that I was gonna be going waifu swapping. Point is, I really feel if Slumber was going for something here, she should have done a better job conveying that, instead of trying to beat everyone at once.
Some days I feel like Kaede, the next, I'm fucking Monokuma, bitches.
Slayer, do you want me to have Chapter 1 depression again?
Maybe a little.
Fellas, I am so horny!
And I'm just gonna say this, like, Spyro, if you're watching this, like, if I'm being honest, the reason why I uploaded all these meme videos, the reason why I tried doing an ARG, the reason why I was doing all of that is because of one reason and one reason only. And that was because of the fact being that...
How much you want to bet the reason is because of the fact that he has a small fucking...
Well, at least Dan has a compared to you.
Oh, but you do.
You fucking little bitch!
Did I just fall into the cringe community by accident? Noted.
The only reason I think you're even trying to avoid them is because you have valid points against you, and you're just ignoring them because you have your head in the sand and don't want to admit defeat.
And this is why I'm doing this drama shit again. Because these people don't understand that my attempts to end the drama is in an act to, you know, basically keep things civil on the internet. But no, these people just have to claim that I'm doing it because I'm scared, which is a retarded reason to end a drama.
No, that's wrong.
Dan, you're very clearly scared, so shut up.
Okay, ignoring the fact that this adds nothing, how was he scared? How in the hell does this disprove Dan's point Why the fucking fuck do I fucking say the fucking fuck word so much? Too many questions!
Also, Dan does have a point here. Since backing away from a drama is an option you can do in this kind of situation if you don't want it to escalate any further. Also, if I could refer back to something I said in an old video of mine, that being, getting onto someone for not participating in a debate is not only a dick move, but a toxic mindset for anyone who wants to debate, since it makes you come off as wanting things to end your way and not really reach a middle ground, which kind of makes you and the people who want to debate Dan look like dicks, and in Slumber's case, an ass.
What is this? It's a gourd, bitch.
Oh, so you do have a skip card! Where the hell was that earlier?
Up his fucking ass.
Oh, hey, I just found my get out of the series discussion free card. Like, where was it when you put out points only to say nothing about it? Or any of the times you put a point only to make a non-point. I also like how you just bring up in your skip card that one of Dan's fans harassed you on Discord without showing any evidence that this indeed happened. Like, you don't get to make a serious point without bagging yourself up. And might I ask, how is this even relevant to the video other than Dan? No, not even Dan, one of Dan's fans! Like, legit, this has nothing to do with the original video. And it feels like it was shoved in here without any clear thought.
So is this video now a speed paint or something? Cause I definitely prefer this direction.
You know? And I know some of you guys may find this to be funny, and admittedly, it is pretty ridiculous, I'm going to say that, but at the same time, like, this could potentially affect my public perception.
Okay, so if this really was about your mental health, you would have left YouTube by now. We all know that if you were really thinking about some of the shit you're saying and having some panic attacks, it would be wise for you to leave the internet.
I agree with that.
Like, honestly, I don't see why you sit here and take this, except, oh yeah, you said yourself, your public persona. Because we all know that you don't want to have good mental health. This isn't about mental health, this is about how people see you. It's about how you see you. Your own ego and the ego that you have behind your neck, you're like, oh, I have 300 subscribers, I have this, I have that. But in reality, all you have is yourself, man. If it's truly about your mental health, it's the platform.
I agree with that.
It's kind of hard.
Well, the real reason why I haven't left YouTube is because of the fact of being that if I do leave YouTube, then I'd be making the same mistake that Sonic93 made, thus resulting in her getting a bunch of crab rave memes made about her, and these people thinking that they're so powerful to the point where they think that they could ruin anyone's career.
What the fuck is your logic, man? That makes no fucking sense.
Okay, first off, playing all of this was a bit unnecessary on your end. I mean, to the very least, you could have sped it up if that's possible with whatever editor you're using, but that aside, the logic makes no sense? Really? Honestly, it's a level of clear equal to looking through a window. TLDR, Dan was saying that he didn't want people to think he was scared off the internet by a bunch of people unless he felt inclined to stay. I feel like aside from his constant stuttering, this wasn't too unclear unless your point is that's a dumb reason, and in that case, you probably should have worded this better for your sake, but again, that's just a hypothetical to say.
Thus leading to the iDubbbz versus Leafy drama, which then eventually led to the Keemstar versus H3H3 drama, which might have potential to escalate from there, all because Sonic93 deleted her channel.
How is any of that drama relevant, bitch?
And you were so close to making an actually good point too! Like, all you had to do was point out that Dan was committing a slippery slope fallacy and that those situations happened for different reasons that don't involve Sonic93. But instead you just throw out, what do these situations have to do with Sonic93? Which feels like an argument made during the first draft of a script.
If only she did smart people things like paying attention and wearing overalls.
Huh, so no wonder Key hates overalls.
I don't have anything against overalls, just regular pants.
Oh, whoa?
Silence, degenerate male.
Nintendo.
Yeah, this could very well so damage me horribly. And
how is your YouTube reputation going to determine anything here, Dan? I'm just asking, like, is your YouTube reputation your life? Like, is that number count becoming you? You are the person who's not that number count, dude. Accept that fact.
okay, let's just say, for example, one of my haters sees me in real life and ends up physically harming me. Yeah, that would be a problem, now wouldn't it?
And this is relevant how?
Because here's the thing, my hate base keeps on getting bigger and bigger each day.
And you're keeps doing the opposite, getting smaller and smaller each passing day.
Why are you so concerned with his dick size?
Also, while we're asking questions, why use Kaede specifically for it? She already has dick in her life.
Key, please choose your next words carefully.
What, I was just gonna bring up that Shuichi exists. But then again, she wouldn't be around long enough to experience it. Not after the incident.
In case if you guys are wondering, you guys want to know why he's doing this shit? All because I yelled at him. Twice.
One of those times I was there, actually. I think your exact words were, I'm going to dox you and I'm going to murder your family. Don't act like that's some minor shit. Like, what you threatened him could actually give you jail time, and you know that. Of course, I don't have the recording on me right now, but I can still tell you that I have multiple witnesses that can confirm this. And if you want them, I can get them on call. Just don't downplay what you've done, man.
Dan said he was gonna dox somebody.
You got any proof?
I don't have any proof, but I do have witnesses who were there with me, so that has to count for something, right?
Understandable, so have a nice day. Yeah, no name commentator, yeah, you ain't getting away with the scot-free either. Let's start off with the fact that you say you don't have the recording on you, but you have witnesses, so that makes everything all better, right? Yeah, no. Considering how you said, I don't have the recording on me right now, this could imply that someone in your friend circle has the recording. However, even if that was the case, why don't you get the fucking recording before making the video? You're not required to rush this video out, man. You could take your fucking time to get the evidence that you need. And if you're saying you don't have the recording at all, then that makes it even worse, because no one can verify this, as the witnesses you mentioned could be lying themselves. Now granted, Dan does go on to say that he did say what he just said.
Okay, so technically speaking, I did not say that to him. Now, granted, I did say that, but not to him, nor anybody.
However, his video was obviously made after your video, which shows you did not have the proper evidence at the time of you making your video. If you don't have the proof, don't make the fucking point.
Accidents do happen.
What the f***? It broke?
Yeah. And keep in mind, Spyro, I'm not, refusing to join just because of the fact being that I'm scared or anything.
Why bring it up if you're truly not scared to join?
That's it, I'm getting the giant piano. There! She's dead! Now, if you excuse me, I have a depression to go through. They played it off-key! Why would they do that?
So now, he's removing context to make it seem like that I was saying something for no reason.
Bitch, then why didn't you fucking add the context into the video, you fucking idiot?
If Dan's point is that in another person's video they cut out context, how is he supposed to add the context there? I don't really understand what we're trying to achieve at this point. Again, I have a faint feeling that this is another area of poor wording on your end, since maybe you're trying to say why not add it in this video, but in that case, again, poor wording would strike again.
Poor wording is the least of our worries right now.
And you know the worst part about this is, I might not be able to get the refund on these tarot cards. Guess I should have thought about that before I wasted my money.
Wow! Now that is a shitty move.
You are a shitty move on behalf of your parents. Alright, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. This commentary took like 2 weeks to make and it was a fucking wild ride. In conclusion, Dan Stein sucks ass. So, yeah.
Absolutely riveting final thoughts. Very informative. I will use this advice for my future content so I won't make similar mistakes. Though seriously, I'm not going to say that you have to have final thoughts, but given how you said, in conclusion, upon proceeding to say something about Dan, you could probably explain yourself a little bit about what was wrong with the video or how they can improve, whatever it may fucking be. Speaking of final thoughts, how about we proceed to ours?
As the professional fortune teller, I think I'm cut out to give them out because I have a license in telling people stuff they won't listen to. But yeah, Slumber, sorry if this video was overly harsh or anything. That wasn't the intention of me and my fellow horny boys, but there was just a bunch of stuff in this video that peeved my friends off and made me reconsider my profession as a commentator. I just want to point out that I fully recognize the likely perspective that you and Dan have some beef and that these videos were made with that in mind. However, I feel as commentaries, all of these videos fall kinda flat. My biggest issue is directed towards the second and third Vs, because like legit, the majority of those videos aren't even really points. 75% of the third video we covered was just you doing, I agree with this, .wav, or wave, I don't really fucking know, over and over, and also a bunch of points that are either ad hominems or things that aren't really explained to the degree that they should. The second was 95% ad hominems. Honestly, because of that, the last two videos just don't hold up as commentaries on Dan Stein. The first video was sort of the same, but admittedly more of the issues there feel like they came from a bias against Dan Stein. Basically, my point is, I'd recommend going into these videos with a much more level head. As I kind of hinted, pot shots aren't inherently bad, but the way you go about them tank a lot of this video. Spite is something I don't appreciate in commentaries, but I can accept the fact that sometimes it just seeps into the videos. And as long as it doesn't come off as hateful, condescending, or bullying, I feel it's fine. You end up coming off as super douchey, and for those who don't know your beef, it honestly seems like you're being a dick for no reason. I get it, Dan can be a pain in the ass for a lot of people, but I don't think this video handled the situation as well as it could have been.
As for my final thoughts, Slumber, I know you're new to the whole commentary thing, at least at the time of scripting, but this trio of Dan videos were not good. The first video felt like you almost had a good point if you elaborated on your issues more. The second video was a majority of non-points and ad homs, and your third video didn't even try. In fact, the third video for me is what made me want to cover this trio of videos due to all the nothing statements. However, since you're a new commentator and I don't want to see you get demotivated, I guess here's some advice. Be sure to rethink the way you use non-points. You can definitely make jokes for pod shots, hell we did that in one in this video, but a lot of yours were just under-elaborated nonsense or a shitty pot shot at Dan that given your attitude in these videos makes it seem out of spite. Plus the fact that they were so prevalent didn't make these videos any easier to watch. And I guess another thing you should fix, treat your video as if it's the first time someone has seen or heard of a video. Give as much context as you can to the point where those who aren't familiar with the situation can understand what's happening. I get that it can sometimes take up a part of the video just explaining the situation, but still, it's essential for a video, especially one that's made for entertainment. But regardless of that, I have hopes that you will improve, Slumber. I'm hopeful that your next commentary will be a significant improvement from these trio of videos, and like I said, I don't want you to be demotivated because of this video. Just take all this commentary and any commentaries that may be done on you in the future, assuming they're valid, into consideration.
Don't play the piano off key and hold off on playing Claire de Lune for a couple of weeks. God fucking damn you all. Fuck you. Especially you in particular, A1 Pictures, you fucking cock blockers.
Key, Maria's outside and she's offering you a booby hug.
Hooray, you cured my depression. Thanks, Symphogear GX writers.
Guess that's why they call it Symphogear.
Anyways, game night is over, I guess. You guys should head home before Luxor and Aaron wake up and get over here if they do expect us to be up until 9 AM playing Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah, let's get off here. See you next week, everyone.
Line goes here.
Stop right there! I have bought my perfect Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc for Yu-Gi-Oh! Night, and by golly gosh, I will not let it go to waste.
Saradas, everyone just left.
Aw, and I spent a lot of money on this though. Can't we at least play a few games?
Sarah, it's 2 AM. I've got to get home before it gets bright, because if my sleep schedule gets fucked again, either my alter ego or my boyfriend is gonna have my ass and my couch. So I'm gonna have to go home. Besides, who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! At 2 AM?
Oh boy, Yu-Gi-Oh! At 2 AM.
Dude, let's fucking go!
Oh, fuck off!